The night Daniel Walker almost missed the last train, he also nearly missed the moment that would quietly rewrite his entire life. The station was cold, echoing, and tired, like everyone inside it. Fluorescent lights flickered above cracked tiles, and the smell of metal, rain, and old coffee clung to the air. Daniel stood near the platform edge, one hand gripping a worn backpack, the other holding his phone with a photo of his 7-year-old daughter, Emily, smiling with two missing teeth. He had just finished another double shift and was calculating, as he always did, whether his paycheck would stretch far enough this month. That was when he noticed the woman sitting alone on a bench, shoulders shaking, face buried in her hands, tears falling freely in a place where no one usually stopped to care. Before the story truly begins, take a moment right now. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of doing the right thing when no one is watching, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Daniel was not a hero. He was a widower, a single father, a man constantly balancing exhaustion and responsibility. Since losing his wife, Sarah, to illness 3 years earlier, life had become a relentless routine of early mornings, school drop-offs, late-night shifts, and silent prayers whispered into the dark after Emily fell asleep. He worked maintenance for a logistics company, a job that paid little but offered just enough stability to survive. Every dollar had a purpose, every minute was scheduled, and every ounce of energy was rationed. He had learned to walk past things that pulled at his heart, because stopping often meant falling behind. But something about that woman's quiet desperation cut through his defenses. He approached slowly, unsure of what to say, unsure if he even should say anything at all. He offered help in the simplest way he knew, not with grand gestures, but with presence. He sat nearby, asked if she was okay, and waited. The woman looked up with red, swollen eyes, clearly startled that someone had noticed her at all. Her name was Grace Miller. She looked polished beneath the mess of tears, like someone used to control and order, now completely undone. Her phone had died, her wallet was gone, and she had just learned news that had shattered her sense of certainty. A business deal had collapsed, trust had been broken, and in one evening, everything she thought was secure had slipped out from under her. Daniel listened. He did not interrupt or rush her words. He did not try to fix her problems or offer empty optimism. He simply listened, the way he wished someone had listened to him on the nights he felt like he was failing his daughter. When Grace realized she had no way to get home and no money for a ticket, Daniel made a decision that scared him more than he would ever admit. He bought her a ticket using money he had set aside for groceries. He walked her to the right platform, made sure she was safe, and gave her his old phone charger so she could reach someone when she arrived. He expected nothing in return. He did not even give her his last name. Kindness to him was not a transaction. It was a habit formed by loss. The train arrived, doors closing with a final hiss, and Grace disappeared into the crowd. Daniel stood there for a moment, wondering if he had just made a mistake he could not afford. Then he sighed, turned, and went home to his small apartment, where Emily slept curled around her stuffed bear. He cooked what little food he had, smiled through the worry, and told her tomorrow would be okay. That night, after she fell asleep, Daniel sat alone at the kitchen table, the silence pressing in, and hoped he had done the right thing. Weeks passed. Life did not magically improve. Bills piled up, the car made a whirring noise, and Daniel's supervisor hinted at upcoming layoffs. Emily came home one afternoon with a permission slip for a school trip Daniel knew he could not afford. He smiled anyway and said they would figure it out. Inside, the familiar fear returned, heavy and exhausting. Still, he showed up every day, did his job, and tried to be a good father. The memory of the woman at the station faded into something distant, almost dreamlike, another small moment swallowed by survival. Then came the email. The company announced a mandatory all-staff meeting. Attendance was required. Rumors spread quickly, whispers of restructuring, leadership changes, and possible closures. Daniel felt his stomach drop as he took a seat in the crowded conference room, surrounded by coworkers who looked just as tense as he felt. The stage was set with unfamiliar branding, and a new name flashed on the screen behind the podium. A new CEO had been appointed, someone from outside the company, someone with a reputation for being sharp, decisive, and transformative. When the doors opened and the woman walked in, Daniel felt the air leave his lungs. Grace Miller stood at the front of the room, composed, confident, and commanding. Her posture was straight, her eyes clear, and her presence filled the space effortlessly. She looked nothing like the broken woman from the train station, and yet Daniel recognized her instantly. His heart pounded as confusion, disbelief, and anxiety collided inside him. He shrank into his chair, hoping he was invisible, hoping she would not remember him at all. Grace began to speak about vision, values, and rebuilding trust within the company. Her voice was steady, but when her eyes scanned the room, they stopped. Just for a fraction of a second, they landed on Daniel. Recognition flickered across her face. She did not smile. She did not react outwardly. She continued the meeting as if nothing had happened. But something had changed. In the days that followed, Daniel noticed subtle shifts. His supervisor treated him with unexpected respect. His workload lightened slightly. His ideas, once ignored, were suddenly acknowledged. Then came the message asking him to report to the executive floor. Alone. The elevator ride felt endless. Daniel rehearsed explanations in his mind, bracing for the possibility that helping a stranger had somehow crossed a line he did not understand. When he entered the office, Grace was standing by the window looking out over the city. She turned slowly, and for the first time since the station, allowed emotion to surface. She acknowledged him without fanfare, reminding him of the night he had chosen kindness when she had nothing to offer in return. She explained who she was, the pressure she lived under, the expectations, the loneliness that came with power. That night at the station, she had not been a CEO. She had been a human being who had fallen apart. Daniel had seen her not as a title, but as a person. That mattered more to her than he could know. Grace made it clear that she would not reward him out of pity or obligation. Instead, she offered opportunity. She had reviewed his file, his work history, his performance. She saw consistency, integrity, and quiet leadership. She believed those qualities were rare. Daniel was offered a promotion into a role that provided better hours, higher pay, and room to grow. Not because of one kind act, but because that act reflected who he was every day. Daniel walked out of that office with shaking hands and tears he refused to let fall until he reached his car. That evening, he told Emily they could go on the school trip. He told her things were going to be different. She hugged him tightly, trusting him completely, unaware of how close he had been to breaking. Life did not become perfect. Challenges remained, but Daniel no longer felt invisible. Grace led the company with empathy shaped by her own breaking point, and Daniel thrived in an environment that finally valued people as much as profits. Their paths crossed often, always professional, always respectful, bound by a shared understanding that one small moment of kindness had changed everything. As this story nears its end, if it has touched your heart, reminded you of your own struggles, or restored even a little faith in humanity, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement truly makes a difference. And before the final moments, we have a special request for you. Please comment below with one word that describes how this story made you feel. Your words matter more than you know. Daniel never told Emily about the woman at the station until years later. When he did, he framed it simply. He told her that kindness is not about who someone is, but about who you choose to be. Some nights when life still feels heavy, he remembers the cold platform, the flickering lights, and the choice he almost did not make. And he understands now that the smallest acts, done quietly and without expectation, can echo louder than anything else we ever do.